So then when the noise gate takes over, you're not susceptible to listening to the background noises going on. So I'm having a better experience with the Razer than I am with the Blue Yeti. And it expands on all the Razer gear I have. I've pretty much just become a Razer fanboy. Between the Chroma, I replaced the Black Widow Ultimate with the Black Widow Chroma stealth model, because those mechanical keys were setting off and they're noisy. I mean, the mic picks up everything already. Just having you guys hear me clacking away was just even worse than listening to background noise. So I got the stealth model of the Chroma, and it works nice. I've been using a Razer Naga left-handed edition for a while now. I'm using Razer 7.1 Kraken headphone or headset. Have a detonator Razer pad. What else I got? Oh, when I got the mic, I got a free Nabu X Razer. I wore it Thursday and Friday. It's kind of interesting. I need to get some apps for it though. Make it somewhat more useful for me. I'm using the Razer Ripsaw for game capturing. So I've got my PC gaming rig with 3 monitors, and then the Razer Ripsaw is plugged in like a 4th monitor, but it is basically mirroring my big monitor. And then on my streaming PC, when I set up OBS, it just captures that input and feeds it to you guys. So you're basically watching my 3rd monitor, which is my big 4K monitor, even though I don't run it. When I'm streaming, I don't run it in anything higher than like 1080p. And that's one reason why I want to get partnership with Twitch. Because right now, if you're not a partner with Twitch and you stream, they lower your resolution down to 720. So you're not hitting them with a lot of bandwidth. But their partners can stream at 1080, which is what I want to do. Just jumping through all those hoops and finally getting a 720p stream at 60 frames per second. It's a pretty good investment overall, but
my injuries are too severe. I must wait longer.
it's my wins. The ultimate goal was to get this streaming PC up and running so I can run 1080p streams, but can't do that through Twitch. Now, I got an email the other day from Razer. They are testing out their streaming software. Let me pull that up. Let's see. I can't remember what it's called. And I think it was just an overall email that went out. I don't think they like targeted me. That would have been cool, but they sent me a key for the Razer Cortex Gamecaster Pro system. That might be something I look at tomorrow morning. Unlimited streaming resolution and frame rates without watermarks. So that's something I might look at. That'll definitely allow me to do my 1080p. Customizable image overlays, which is expected. Customizable be right back screen. Interesting. I wonder what that's about. Webcam green screen effect, which is expected. On-screen annotations, which should be a simple overlay option. Higher quality and lower impact streaming with the X264 video codec, which is what pretty much XSplit and OBS uses now. So that may be something I want to check out. And this is a 3-month license. So apparently they're going to charge for a pro license to their casting software. But if it lets me stream in 1080p, and I could do that to YouTube maybe? Well, I should be able to stream to YouTube in 1080p anyway. That was something I was thinking about doing. Instead of doing Twitch, maybe alternating between Twitch and YouTube. seeing what kind of responses I get between them. Because I am currently a partner on YouTube, and I don't know if they actually lower resolutions for non-partners, but I haven't tried yet. At least not with this setup. Running out of stacks. So it doesn't look like I could do a solo 50. Although this started out as a group. Well, I don't know if that makes a difference. Now, one ability of the Sun Wukong set, which I was playing with last night, is the decoys. You can barely see them. They're like a little orange glow after you hit a mob. You saw it right there. It only lasts like a second. There he was over there. But he's there for about a second, and then he explodes. And he does 500% weapon damage per stack of sweeping winds. So I was like, well, hell, let's switch out my weapon ability from the Can Ice Cube and use that fist weapon that adds up to 7 more stacks of sweeping wind. And then with that belt, it automatically adds stacks, so I get up to 10 stacks with sweeping wind. So those drones should be exploding and doing like 5,000% weapon damage. Which means I lose the 150% damage increase for the one I'm using. So I'm using the torch. And I don't know if there's a way to show what your Can I Cube effect is without actually going to the Can I Cube. Well, go ahead and get out of here because this is going to be a fail anyway. Wow, they even went to the vault and everything. So this is the one you use to increase your just overall damage with Wave of Light by 150%. Well, I guess that's the difference. It's increasing the damage of Wave of Light, not weapon damage specifically. That this to Vengeful Wind. Increases maximum stack count on Sweeping Wind by 7. So that would make my stacks on Sweeping Wind 10. And then the Sun Wukong 4-piece. Every second Sweeping Wind spawns a decoy next to the last enemy you hit that taunts nearby enemies and then explodes for 500% weapon damage for each stack of Sweeping Wind you have. So that's 5,000% weapon damage. However, that 5,000% weapon damage doesn't even come close to outweighing the damage of Wave of Light at 150 to 200%, which doesn't quite add up to me. Releases a burst of energy that deals 830% weapon damage as fired to nearby enemies. And 150 to 200% is going to make that 1,600%. That decoy should be blowing away Wave of Light at 5,000%, but it's not. I don't think it works that way. There's some kind of math iteration not working right. Alright, so this group fell apart. All because somebody wanted to do a level 50 greater, and then everybody bailed. Take a moment, hold on. Let's do private so I can go over some things. Sit there and annoy players. We can just switch to public when I'm ready. And then we'll look at what's coming up on Season 6 too, because I haven't looked at all completely. Some new sets coming up and everything. Alright, so Monk. Wave of Light build. You'll notice there are no generators. You're just going to be using spinders. But there are some effects and ability passives and some gear you'll have that will help keep your spirit going up. Even though all you're doing is spending it. So Wave of Light. Dun, dun, dun. It's a focus of Wave of Light that crushes enemies for 835 weapon damage as holy. Now, normally that centers on you. So this big bell comes down and blasts out around you. Actually, originally it just blasts forward. But then we're going to use Explosive Light, release a burst of energy that deals 837 weapon damage as fire to nearby enemies. So that's every direction. So a big blast out. And that blast has actually turned out to be really huge. So there's that ability we're using. That's your primary ability. That's what the build is based on. Because you can stack up some damage on this thing. It does some amazing damage. Dashing Strike will help us get moved around. Normally Dashing Strike quickly dash up to 50 yards, striking enemies along the way for 370% weapon damage as physical. Now some people have been using Blinding Speed to gain a dodge, 40% dodge when doing Dashing Strike. Depending on your gear, how defensive you are, you could also go with Way of the Falling Star. You gain a 20% increased movement speed for 4 seconds after Dashing Strike to help keep up your mobility. I've been using this because I'm kind of at the high end of where I'm pushing this build, so I'm trying to survive at this point. So those are your left and right mouse buttons. Obviously, if you have it more comfortable on how you're going to set up your keys, that's how you want to do it. The other key ability from Wave of Light is the Sweeping Winds ability. Normally, Sweeping Winds will surround yourself in a vortex that continuously deals 105 weapon damage to all enemies within 10 yards. The vortex lasts 6 seconds and is refreshed each time you strike an enemy with melee attack. Landing a critical hit has a chance to increase the vortex effect up to 3 stacks for a total of 315% weapon damage. So, that Sweeping Wind will build up as you do critical hits up to 3, but to keep it going when you're not fighting something, because every 6 seconds it's going to lose a stack, you have to activate the ability. That way it'll keep it refreshed. It refreshes the timer. However, as you will see soon, there's an item you can get, a belt, that will constantly add 2 stacks to your Sweeping Winds every second that you're not damaging an opponent. And then we use Inner Storm. As long as your vortex is at 3 stacks or more, you gain 8 spirit per second. So that's one way you're getting your spirit back. Epiphany. Have an Epiphany, increasing your spirit regeneration per second by 20 and enabling your melee attacks to instantly dash to your target for 15 seconds. So that's another way you're getting a big increase of spirit. You're also getting mobility by being to pop around your targets while Affinity is running. And then we use the Desert Shroud as an additional survival ability because it infuses yourself with sand, reducing damage taken by 50% while Affinity is running. So Epiphany has 2 factors you want to use it. When you're out of spirit and you need an infusion of spirit. When you're getting your butt kicked and it's, oh hell, I need to save my ass at this, and then it reduces the damage you take by 50%. So it's got double usage, which is awesome. And it also works with if you're using the Halcyon Amulet, which I was earlier. The Halcyon Amulet is the amulet that makes the mobs dance around you. Well, it's focused on for monks off the Epiphany. So when you hit Epiphany, it makes all the mobs dance. Those are your 4 primaries. Mystic Ally support. Now, normally Mystic Ally is your Mystic Ally has damage increase of 50% for 10 seconds when you're activating it. Passively, he fights at your side and deals 130% of weapon damage as physical per swing. When the ally dies, it is reborn 5 seconds later. So the basic effect